First of all, thank you all for making the trip. Some of you came a long way. This is an effort that came about probably about a year ago when I read the story about a boy who wanted to have a buddy bench at his school. And his name was Christian. And in the spring of 2013, when he was in the first grade, there was the possibility that his family was going to move to Germany. When they were looking at a website for a school overseas, he saw a picture of a special bench on the playground. He asked about it and liked what he heard. He thought it would be a really great thing to have on the playground at his current school. He knew there were some kids who felt lonely at recess and thought this would put an end to that. So he told his teacher and his principal about it, and they thought it was a great idea. Since it was the end of the school year, the principal said he would look into it over the summer, and they would get it in place in the fall. In the end, Christian did not move to Germany, so he was able to stay in his hometown. Sure enough, his principal researched it and let Christian pick out the bench for the fall. After the buddy bench arrived, Christian gave a presentation to the school board to explain it. Before it was placed on the playground, Christian spoke in front of his whole school at a community morning meeting to explain the buddy bench and show a video about how it was made. The kids loved it and were very excited for the bench to be placed on the playground. A local newspaper did a story on the buddy bench, and it caught the attention of the Huffington Post. It was picked up by NBC and other media outlets. He heard from students and adults all across the country who love the idea and want to do the same thing in their schools. He is so excited by this and eager to see the buddy bench movement spread, and he is happy to spread the word any way he can. So that's how I heard about it, and I thought with the PTA organizing the centennial, which we were able to pull off this past fall, I think it was, I enlisted about a dozen of the folks from my class of 1965 John Muir School to fund a buddy bench and dedicate it to our sixth grade teacher, who had tremendous impact on our lives. What most of us didn't know about him was that Moss Fuji was born June 23, 1929 in Tacoma, Washington. After Pearl Harbor, he, along with 120,000 Japanese Americans, were incarcerated in American concentration camps. He spent 4 years at 4 different internment camps in Pinedale, Tule Lake, Jerome, Arizona, and Hart Mountain, Wyoming. He received a bachelor's degree from San Francisco State and 3 master's degrees in education, child psychology, and physical education from Springfield College, USF, and SF State. He served in the U.S. Air Force during the Korean conflict from 51 to 56 as a first lieutenant radar observer navigator on the F-89 Scorpion and F-94 Starfighter. He survived 2 jet plane crashes at Ladd Air Force Base in Fairbanks and Otis Air Force Base in Cape Cod. He was a teacher, school principal, child psychologist, as well as an avid sports enthusiast. He was married to Anne Neomia for 50 years. So I really thought that he deserved that all of the kids who enjoyed him as a teacher and the wisdom and creativity that he brought to the classroom should have a little something to remember him by. And then other kids and adults who come by and see this might just wonder who was this guy, and they'll look him up and find out who he was. So I thank you all for being here, and I invite anybody else who has a memory of Mr. Fuji, if you're interested. It can be memorialized, right?
What is the most important thing you learned from Mr. Fuji?
This was a time when racial tensions were starting to rise. The civil rights movement was starting to get into full swing, and tolerance and acceptance and inclusion, I think, was the most important thing that he demonstrated. You can't really teach a lot of things, you have to show it by by example. He was a perfect example of those things.
I wish I knew more about him. I mean, I remember him not being in his class.
Yes.
I don't have any great
It was,
memories of him particularly.
it was a great era, I think, for many of us, because there were 66 kids in 2 classes of 1965, about 33 each. A couple of you were in Miss Cohn's class. Many of us were in Mr. Fuji's class. He brought in people to teach Spanish. There was a guy named Mr. Chavez who used puppets to teach us Spanish. Patty didn't have a great experience with him, but not all teachers get through to all kids.
Criticize you for not being
You have to roll your R's, and that's hard. But anyway, this is the bench. If you want to take a good close look at it, it's sturdy. It's supposed to last for years, and it's pretty well anchored in there. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. And hopefully, it'll get used and appreciated by the kids who get to continue the John Muir tradition and legacy.
If I may, I wasn't in Tim's class the year after Tim and Patty's class. I had him for 5th grade, and I had Marion Altman for 6th grade. We still have Marion Altman with us, amazing woman still, but Mr. Fuji was my first male teacher, and he kind of broke that dynamic of only having female teachers. And I'm a teacher, I'm a special ed teacher, and I think it is very much Miss Aiken, Mr. Fuji, Marion Altman that set the path for me to want to be part of that educational community. I love Mr. Fuji. Incredible.
The PTA and the administrators of John Muir have been really, really cooperative, helpful, supportive, and from the moment the idea came up, they were completely in favor of it. We raised money from a bunch of class members. The money went into the PTA coffers, all tax deductible. And then Elise ordered the bench, and we made sure that they spelled everyone's name right on the plaque, and it got installed a week ago. So I'm really proud of it, and I'm proud of all of the members of the group that thought it was a good idea. Wrote checks and said yes. So my name's Tim Cannon, Berkeley native, John Muir School alum.
Patty Fong, class of 65.
Sheila Schwartzberg, John Muir School parent, and now grandparent.
I'm Toby Schwartzberg, and Sheila is also responsible for having the school renovated instead of torn down.
Not alone. Huge team.
Hillary McDevitt, class of 67. Fuji's class.
And do you have your own
Great.
bench here too?
And we have our own bench on the other side of the school dedicated to the people that we've lost from our class. By the creek.
And I'm Pat McDevitt, I'm with her. I didn't go here.
And I'm Ann Colateo, native San Franciscan, and I'm with him, Tim Cannon, married to Tim Cannon.
I'm Tim Turner, and I was in the class of 65, but I was with Mr. Fuji's co-worker, Miss Cohn, and it's great to be back at this school. I'm glad that it's still here.
And I'm Michael Lauren Lynch from yesteryear, class of 66. Like I aforementioned, I had Mr. Fuji in 5th grade and Marion Altman in 6th grade.
I'm Elise Peru, and my son Errol is, I guess, the class of 2018 here at John Muir. And we live just down the street on Claremont, and this was our first pick of schools, and a lot of it had to do with the beautiful campus, the beautiful classroom, the building, the after-school program, and we're really happy that the community has been so welcoming.
And you're here for public education.
Oh,
Yeah.
one more time.
Public education!
And a big here for Marion Altman, because she really started this whole project of renovating the school. And she's a huge presence in the school community to this day, for those of you in 6th grade. Sorry she couldn't join us today.
I'm really grateful to everybody who came out. Glad the
The
weather
suns.
permitted. The sun just
The angels.
The sun just came and shone on us. Let's keep working towards supporting public education and making our schools inclusive in the tradition that our 6th grade teacher, Moss Fuji, started for us back in 1965. It's important, I think, that we did this dedication of the bench to Mr. Fuji this week, as it is the 75th anniversary of Executive Order 9066, which placed so many families